I guess I just wanted to ask, what inspired you to start your podcast with Julie? And I guess before we even ask you what inspired you, could you also just let us know what your podcast is about? Because there might be some people listening going, wow, I'm hearing a lot about this podcast, but I'm actually not sure. I'm not sure what it's about and what they talk about.
So For Why is the name of our podcast. So Julie and I are from very opposing backgrounds. So she's from Luxembourg. She grew up in Luxembourg and came to the UK for university. And I'm from South East London. I'm from Croydon. I don't know why people just don't say where they're from. I'm from Croydon. Shout out to Croydon. Shout out to all my gang. And I grew up in a working class background, really grinding and struggling. And I'm obviously from two different races, and she is white and she grew up in a middle class background. So we're very opposing, but we have such similar views, which is very powerful and very amazing to see. But obviously our different cultures and different backgrounds influences our different answers as well. So we're like, okay, this is cool. We'll talk about things that really stresses us. What really got us going was our English module. It was violence. And we had to do a creative project. We had to do a creative project, either a film, a presentation, or a podcast on something that was violent. And we could do it in a group or as an individual. And we were like, okay, we can do this together. We can do a podcast, cheeky podcast. We can just see what happens. This will be fun. We like talking. I think we're quite funny. I think we bounce off each other really well. We got good energy. So I feel like this will be really good. So we did racism in our different countries and what it was like with her and how she saw racism in her country and what she saw when she came here and how it was different and how I experienced racism and what it's like growing up in London, basically, with racism. So we started with that. And we were like, oh, we actually really enjoyed this. This is kind of cool. We actually have some kind of good ideas. And then our lecturer was like, yeah, this is great. This is amazing. That kind of fills your ego a bit. So you're like, okay, maybe we should keep going with this. Maybe we can get somewhere with this. So we continued and we did it. We tried to do it as much as possible, but then lockdown hit just after that. And we were on Zoom, but my Wi-Fi is terrible. And my computer is terrible. So it's improved now, obviously, but it was just really bad. So the audio is a bit bad for a couple of them. But once we got to UAL, there's a podcast studio. And we're like, this is amazing. This is really cool. So it's professional mics, professional headphones, and they have professional cameras that we can book out. So we're like, okay, we'll be really consistent with it. So every time we had lessons, we would then film a podcast. And it was going really well. We even got to a point where it was going really good, but then uni finished and then we started working and it's a bit fallen off now, but we plan to get back into it. Once we're back into a schedule and finishing uni and sorting out our kind of individual schedules, then we should be all right. But yeah, that's why we got into podcasting, and that's our podcast.